Hey guys, so in honor of March Madness coming to an end, I've decided to hop on the bandwagon and fill out one of these Kanye Madness brackets. Personally, I love the old Kanye, so I do have a little bit of bias. But remember, this is just my opinion, so if you disagree with me, make sure to drop a dislike, and for bonus points, make sure to leave a hate comment, because I love those as well. So without wasting too many time, let's get into the video. Now to kick off the round of 64, we're going to be starting in the Northwest region. And the first matchup is between the first seed, Can't Tell Me Nothing, against the 16th seed, Amazing off of 808s and Heartbreaks. And I did give this one to Can't Tell Me Nothing. Amazing I think is one of the better tracks off 808s, and I do enjoy the Jeezy feature as well. I kind of wish the rest of the album was more similar to this song, because I do enjoy it, but I did give it to Can't Tell Me Nothing. And the next matchup, we have Never Let Me Down vs. So Appalled. And surprisingly, this was a fairly easy pick for me. Jay-Z, Kanye on a single track. And I know I'm biased, I like the old Kanye more, but I think pretty much anything out of College Dropout, you can't go wrong with. So I did have Never Let Me Down advance to the next round. And then next up, you have Hey Mama and Last Call, which was another fairly easy pick for me. Don't get me wrong, I love both songs. I think Hey Mama is a really deep and emotional track. One of my personal favorite Kanye songs as well. I do feel like Last Call is one of the weaker songs off College Dropout. But like I said, I love both songs, so Hey Mama advances. And here we have another upset between Real Friends and Devil in a New Dress. I went with Real Friends, not only because I like the message and the morals behind the song, but overall, I think it's one of the better songs off Life of Pablo, and just in general, I think it's a better song than Devil in a New Dress. And for Crack Music and New Slaves, I gave it to Crack Music. I think New Slave is just one of those songs that is very forgettable, and I don't really like or dislike it. It's just there, really mediocre. And I think Crack Music it's a decent song. I think the Game feature was pretty good on the track as well. I just am not a huge fan of New Slaves. I think it's just one of Kanye's more mediocre songs. Next up, we have another upset with Famous, the 14th seed, coming in top of Flashing Lights. And I'm kind of surprised that Famous was such a low seed. I kind of feel bad to see Flashing Lights get kicked out so soon, but I just think Famous is overall the better track. But it's another one of those where it could go either way. I love both songs. And next up, you have Big Brother vs. Love Lockdown. And I went with Big Brother. Not as much for the musical aspect, but I love the lyrics. I think it's interesting to see what Kanye is coming from artistically and appreciating the people that have helped him get to where he is now. That being said, I think Love Lockdown is a more exciting track of the two. And now we finish off the region with another easy win for College Dropout. There's not much to say about this matchup. I think Through the Wire is just such an amazing song. I have nothing against No Church in the Wild, just one of the more mediocre tracks. It's fairly forgettable. I just think Through the Wire is on a completely another level. So that finishes up the round of 64 for the Northwest region. And now for the round of 32, I'm going to kind of speed through, because I don't want this video to be 30 minutes long. So we do have Never Let Me Down and Hey Mama advance, along with Famous and Through the Wire. It was tough to see some of these songs go, but I just think Through the Wire, Hey Mama especially, are one of the better tracks in this region. And for the Sweet 16, both these choices were very tough. Like I said, Hey Mama is one of my favorite Kanye songs, especially lyrically, so I did give it to Hey Mama. It was tough to see Famous go, but I think Through the Wire overall is just such a good song. To be honest, I think a lot of these songs are very strong to begin with, but for my Elite 8, I had Hey Mama advance to the Final 4, which is fairly controversial because Famous, Through the Wire. But yeah, I did have Hey Mama go to the Final 4. And here's just a look of the overall bracket before we move on. So up next we have the Donda region, which is the name of his mother. And right off the bat, we're faced with a really tough matchup between All Falls Down and Addiction. And I did end up choosing All Falls Down because I enjoy the instrumentals, especially the vocals throughout the track. However, I think the lyrical aspect of Addiction is really good. But All Falls Down is one of my favorite tracks as well, so I did give it to that. In the next matchup, I did end up choosing Heartless over Monster. Although I'm not a huge fan of either song, I definitely think Heartless is the win. It deserves the win because it's fairly evident that a lot of rappers have copied and been influenced by this song. So I let it advance for those reasons, although I'm not a huge fan of it. Just in general, autotune isn't my favorite. And the next matchup wasn't super difficult for me. Drive Slow, I think, was the better track, not only because I just enjoy the song overall, but the beat especially. I know I say that a lot, but Kanye, I think, has some of the better productions out of all the rappers. But I think Highlight is one of my least favorite tracks off of Life of Pablo. It's, not much else to say about that one. And then another matchup where I'm not a huge fan of either song, but I gave it to The Slight Edge to Run Away. The only thing I don't mind about Blood on the Leaves is the instrumental, but overall I think the vocals and the song in general is pretty weak. But yeah, I gave The Slight Edge to Run Away. And Blame Game and Roses is one of the few matchups where I actually love both the old and new Kanye songs. But I did give it to Roses. The musical aspects, especially the choir, the lyrics are very personal and emotional. You hear Kanye talking about his family in the hospital setting. Just overall a very powerful track, so I gave it to Roses. And the next matchup is another toss-up. I really do enjoy both songs. I kind of wanted to give it to Good Life, just because there's a lack of representation from the newer Kanye. But at the same time, Celebration is such a good track. One of my favorites off of Late Registration. So I know it's sad to see Good Life go so early. And I just had to give it to Celebration. The next matchup, come on, Talib Kweli, Common, Kanye, all in one track. I gotta give it to Get 'Em High. The Glory is definitely a solid track as well, especially the instrumental and the production. But Get 'Em High is a fairly good track. And to finish off the round of 64, I made the easy pick of All the Lights over School Spirit. I love both songs, and I know some people actually chose School Spirit over All of the Lights, which I was fairly surprised by. I love Kid Cudi. I think Rihanna did a good job, especially the instrumental in this one is pretty catchy. However, I do think School Spirit is better lyrically, but I don't think that was All the Lights' intention in the first place. So yeah, I gave it to All the Lights. To kick off the round of 32, I chose both Drive Slow and All Falls Down. Both are fairly easy decisions for me. I'm not a huge fan of Heartless or Runaway. And as much as I am a fan of Roses and Get 'Em High, I had to go with Celebration and All the Lights. Now, the Elite 8 was a lot more difficult for me than the round of 32. I did end up choosing All Falls Down over Drive Slow, but the Celebration and All the Lights matchup was a lot more difficult for me. But as you can see, I did choose All the Lights. And for the second edition, for the final four, I ended up choosing All the Lights. I feel like I'm going to regret this because I just love the beat of this song. I mean, lyrically, I think it's okay. I love Kid Cudi though. So here's the bracket overall, and as you can see, we have Hey Mama and All the Lights in the final four so far. So we're halfway done with the bracket, and now let's move on to the Chicago region. So to kick off the round of 64, we have an easy pick with Jesus Walks over Murder to Excellence. Not much to say about this one. Jesus Walks is, I think, the superior song, clearly, especially lyrically as well. The next matchup is another fairly easy pick with We Don't Care over Streetlights, another college dropout classic, and then I went with We Major over 30 Hours. I do actually love both songs. I don't think either one is very special or unique in any way, but I don't think you can go wrong with either song. It's a toss-up in my opinion, so I did go with We Major over 30 Hours. And then next we have another tough matchup with Stronger and Black Skinhead. I love both these songs a lot. I'm kind of surprised Black Skinhead is such a low seed as well, because I think it's one of the better tracks off Yeezus, one of the few songs I actually do love off the album. I think Stronger is the superior track. Another matchup where I don't think you can go wrong either way, but I do think Stronger is definitely the better track. And I know Gold Digger is kind of overplayed, the more cliche Kanye song, but I actually do love the song. Gotta Have It isn't bad. I think it's a fairly mediocre song in my opinion. So I gave this one a Gold Digger. For this next matchup, I am picking against College Dropout. No More Parties in LA, I think, is a better song. It's not only more experimental, but I think Kendrick on the track did a great job. And I think it's just one of the better tracks off Life of Pablo. And then I did end up picking Good Morning over Say You Will. I think Good Morning was one of Kanye's better intro tracks. Perfect way to start off the Stronger album. Say You Will is another one of those tracks that I think is fairly mediocre. I mean, it's above average for 808s. That isn't really saying much for me because I don't really like the album. But yeah, I think Good Morning is one of Kanye's better intro tracks. And as much as I love Father Stretch My Hands, I think Power is the obvious choice in my opinion. Definitely one of my favorite newer Kanye songs. The beat especially, I think is really good for Power. And off to the round of 32. So I did pick both Jesus Walks and Stronger. Wasn't too difficult picks for me. And then I did have Gold Digger and Power, which weren't too hard either. I think they're both very solid tracks. And to advance to the Elite 8, I picked Jesus Walks and Power. All 4 songs were great. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. This division definitely has some of the more competitive newer Kanye songs, especially with Power and Stronger. But to advance to the final 4, I had Jesus Walks. I think this was probably the most competitive and the most difficult region for me. But before we move on, I'd like to show you the overall bracket. So as you can see, we have Hey Mama, All the Lights, and we have Jesus Walks in the final 4. And for the final region, which is Saints, obviously one of Kanye's kids' names, we have the first matchup between Touch the Sky and the New Workout Plan. And Touch the Sky is one of my favorite Kanye songs off Late Registration. I love the Lupe feature. And overall, I think it's just a very upbeat and an inspirational song. Love the horns on the track, especially the Lupe feature, like I said, is great. And next, I did choose Otis over Champion, even though I think Otis is a fairly repetitive song, with the Otis Redding sample throughout the whole song. But I think Kanye and Jay-Z, come on, I think it's hard to beat. So overall, great song, although it is a little bit repetitive. And for the next matchup, I went with Ultralight Beam. Definitely one of my favorite tracks off Life of Pablo as well. Spaceship's great too. One of the more rare occasions where I do choose the newer Kanye over College Dropout. The next matchup was fairly tough for me actually, because I think Dark Fantasies is one of the greater intro tracks for Kanye. A perfect way to kick off the album. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the album as a whole. And Diamonds, another classic song off Late Registration. But I did end up going with Dark Fantasy. Love the vocals, especially throughout the whole song. The production's amazing. So I think Dark Fantasy is the more solid track in my opinion. The next one was a complete opposite choice for me. It was a fairly easy matchup. Heard Him Say over I Wonder. Not much to say about this one. I just feel like Wonder is another one of those forgettable, mediocre Kanye songs. And next I did end up going with Homecoming over Gorgeous, which it was pretty tough. But just the piano in Homecoming is just so catchy. I also think the concept of the song is pretty cool, with how you think he's talking about a girl, but it's really about the city of Chicago. So I did end up going with the more upset pick, I guess you could say. And then, I don't know why, for some reason Family Business is one of my favorite Kanye songs. I honestly don't know why, other than that it's a very emotional song, and the vocals are pretty good as well. But I did end up going with that over Bound 2, which may piss some people off, but I don't really care. And to finish the round of 64, I went with NIP over Late. Fairly safe pick. I mean, I don't know many people that would go with Late. On to the round of 32. I did have Touch the Sky and Ultralight Beam Advance along with Homecoming. And where I lose a lot of you is Family Business over NIP. Both great tracks, but I don't know why I love that song, but I just do. And for the Sweet 16, I had Touch the Sky and Family Business Advance again. I honestly don't know why I like that song so much, but I do. And for the final spot and the final 4, I have Touch the Sky Advance. So before I go to the championship, here's an overall view of the entire bracket with Hey Mama, All of the Lights, Jesus Walks, and Touch the Sky left in the final 4. And to advance to the championship game, I have Jesus Walks and Touch the Sky face off. I did end up choosing Jesus Walks. It was a fairly tough decision because those are my two favorite Kanye songs. I kind of wish Touch the Sky was on the left side of the bracket, And Hey Mama, I had that advance over All of the Lights. All of the Lights is a good track musically, I feel like, but lyrically, I feel like it's lacking, especially compared to Hey Mama. So that wasn't too tough of a decision to me. I just, like I said, I wish Touch the Sky was on the left side of the bracket because I feel like the right side was a lot more competitive. There's a lot more songs that I wish went further, but they couldn't just because I had to make a decision. So the two songs in the championship are Jesus Walks and Hey Mama. And for the championship game, I had Jesus Walks over Hey Mama. Fairly easy decision for me. I think Jesus Walks lyrically is Kanye's best song. Let me know what you guys think below. Remember, it's just my opinion, but make sure to comment what your final four is and what you think about this bracket. I'm probably going to regret half these picks that I just made. Yeah, and as always, thanks for watching.